What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and a stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. In this video, we're going to go over multiple different stimulus checks that you might not even know about from multiple different states and from the federal government. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are considering a new fourth stimulus check. And there is like a dozen or more states that have already passed state stimulus checks and more states that are considering stimulus checks because a lot of states, or actually all states, got over $1 billion from the last stimulus package. And they're now deciding what to do with the money. And I'll go over as many states as I can here in this one video. And I'll keep you up to date here with more states going forward. In fact, there's probably going to be a lot of states that issue, we've actually seen a couple states do this already, multiple different kind of packages and tax relief and checks and property tax relief and multiple different kind of things here in different rounds of kind of payments and stuff because they have so much money. Like California has over $60 billion of money. California is struggling a little bit on how to pass it and what to do with the money. We'll go over California in this video. We're going to go over a lot of different states here in this video and federal checks in this video here. This way you want to subscribe to this channel. It's free to do so. But I'm going to keep you up to date here with a lot of different things on this channel. But let's jump right in because we got so many different things to cover here. There's a lot of different checks, tax rebate checks, stimulus checks, still going on here in 2022 that a lot of people don't know about. Yeah, that's right. But first, our audience loved Albert so much. I'm here to tell you about them and how you can score $150. Albert is different from any bank account you've ever used. Albert is free to sign up for. It's super easy to use, no overdraft fees, no checking account fees, and no minimum balance. Albert is all about helping you save as much money as you can. With the Albert app, you can get paid up to 2 days early. Plus, if you're short on cash, Albert will advance you up to $250 from your next paycheck. Albert is free to sign up with no interest and no credit check. Pretty cool, huh? Albert also helps you save more money by looking into your account and helps you find ways to save more money. And best of all, you'll get access to their team of geniuses. Financial experts you can lean on for help. The geniuses can help you make a plan and answer any questions if you get stuck. So check out the Albert app, and for a limited time, when you open a checking account and connect a qualifying direct deposit, you will get $150. That's right, you'll get $150. I know, it's amazing. So click the link down below in the description box or the pinned comment down below, or go to albert.com/itsjimmy to download the Albert app today. That's albert.com/itsjimmy. Okay, let's go over some of the states that are set to send out payments in May. Stimulus checks from the states, tax rebate checks, property tax checks. Really, these are basically stimulus checks from the states or tax rebate checks from the states, which is basically kind of the same things. Here we go. Okay, first up, California is still sending out checks from their last round of payments from last year. We'll get to their new rounds here in a little bit. But as you can see here, California is still sending out their checks from the Golden State stimulus checks 1 and 2, which are stimulus checks of $600 per person, $1,200 for married couples, and $1,100 if you have a child, which is basically an extra $500. Those went out last year to people that made under $75,000. Okay, basically those are still going out here, believe it or not, to hundreds of thousands of people here this year. So believe it or not, those are the first one. Next up, the state of Delaware here, as you can see here from this other headline here, um, $300 tax rebates are coming to Delawareans next month as inflation relief. This was passed in April, as you can see here, and these are now going out here in May. The state of Delaware is planning to issue tax rebate checks, stimulus checks, whatever you want to call them, right? Each state kind of uses a different name. Individual filers are set to receive $300, while couples who file jointly can expect a rebate of $600. Now, I want to note this here first. Most states are going to require you to file a tax return for two main reasons. Number one, they need to know where you live and how much money you make. They need to know you exist. They need to know your address, and they need to know how much money you make. Most states have an income limit, 75,000 or 150,000, something like that. And two, they need to know who you are and where you actually live. There's a few states here that are passing checks that have a supplementary system where they're sending out checks to people who don't file state tax returns as well, like they're doing it through their state DMV or something like that. Um, but if you have a state stimulus check coming, I recommend you look into it. If you've been watching my show here on a daily basis, this is kind of an overview of all the different state stimulus checks, or as many as I can cover in one video. I might miss a few here in this video. But if you have a state stimulus check, I recommend you look into it a little bit more if you're a non-filer, because you might want to file here this year for a 2021 tax return here this year, so you don't miss out on that. Even if you don't have any earned income, you still might want to go ahead and just file a state tax return so you can get your state stimulus check, because you might still be eligible for it. So keep that in mind, because if it's a $500 or $850 stimulus check or something like that per person for you and your wife or something like that, it might be worth it to just go ahead and file a state tax return, even if you don't have any earned income, or if you have, you could say you have $20 of earned income from a garage sale. If you're going to get $500 per person or $850 per person or something like that, it might be worth it to file a tax return with the state. So just keep that in mind, because, like I said, it might be worth it. So Delaware has checks coming for $300 per person. Couples filing jointly is $600. Rebates will be made to Delaware residents who have a personal tax return from 2020. So they're using 2020 tax returns. Okay. And these will go out in May based on 2020 tax returns. They also expect to make further rounds of payments. Like I said, a lot of states might be doing that as well. The state of Indiana, will also be providing tax rebates to eligible residents beginning in May this year. Those who filed as individuals are set to receive payments of $125 per person, while married couples will receive $250. Any person who filed taxes in the state before January 3rd, 2022 will be eligible. The paper checks will not be issued until July or August, but those who provided banking information with their 2021 tax returns will receive the direct payments. The state of Illinois, the state is expected to make payments to taxpayers of up to $400 sometime later this year. The city of Chicago as well will provide prepaid gas and transport cards who are eligible. I believe the state of Illinois also has property tax rebate checks of $300, up to $300 as well. So I think you can get up to $700. Depends on how many adults are there and how many children are there for the $400. But if you're a property owner, you can get up to $300 as well. So I think it can be up to $700 depending. The city of Chicago will also issue up to 50,000 prepaid gas cards worth $150 each and 100,000 prepaid transit cards worth $50 each. The state of Hawaii just approved payments up to $300 for taxpayers and their dependents. So if you have two adults, you're looking at $600, and two dependents, you're looking at $300 for each of them as well. So that could be $300 each times four would be $1,200. Or if you have four kids, you're looking at and two adults, you'd be looking at um, $1,800, $300 per person. Yeah, so a pretty decent amount of there that was just approved by Hawaii, as you can see here from the headline here from Hawaii. So pretty good there. If you make over $100,000 in Hawaii, then it's only $100 per person. But I mean, if you're making over $100,000, then you know you're doing pretty well, right? The state of Maine has one of the largest stimulus checks that has been already approved. That's $850 per person. This is already passed. So that is $1,700 for married couples, because again, it's per person. So again, this is already passed and will go out here in June, as you can see directly from Forbes here. So again, really, really cool. I think that Maine has property tax rebate checks as well. So if you're a property tax owner, I believe there's a rebate check in there as well for this as well. A lot of different states are passing what I would consider stimulus packages, where there's a stimulus check in there or a tax rebate check, whatever you want to call it. Remember, a stimulus check is actually considered a tax rebate check, even if you're a non filer. That's why the IRS has the non filers tool, because technically it's a rebate check on your taxes. But if you don't file taxes, the IRS has the non filers tool. But technically, the regular IRS check is a tax rebate check, believe it or not. So when you hear stimulus check, it's actually considered a tax rebate check. That's why I said when tax rebate check, stimulus check is the same thing. So yeah, so a lot of these states are doing stimulus packages, where they actually have a lot of different things in them. I know Illinois was one of them where they had like checks for adults, checks for children. The checks themselves weren't a lot, but they also had like they were pausing or getting rid of their grocery taxes. They were pausing their um their gas tax, and they had multiple different things in there that kind of add up. If I recall correctly, it was like $1 billion or something like that. So there's a lot of different states that are doing a package where it's a lot of different, it's a whole package. So, like when we think about the stimulus package that was passed underneath Biden, or like the first package that was passed underneath Trump, um, it's a whole package. So, there's unemployment relief, there's rent assistance, there's mortgage assistance, utility assistance. A lot of these states are doing property tax relief as well. They're doing maybe a stimulus check or a tax rebate check, which is again the same thing. A lot of states are pausing or getting rid of their grocery taxes because um, food prices are actually at an all-time high here as well in the U.S. and actually around the world. So if you've been watching my show, this is not just a US problem. This is actually an entire world problem. Food prices and gas prices are at all-time highs across the entire world right now. Yeah. So I get that, especially if you're a Republican. A lot of Republicans just say, "Oh, it's Biden, it's Biden, it's Biden." But if you've been watching my show, I like to bring the truth to everybody. If Trump was the president, I'd be saying the same thing, because it's just the reality of things. If you've actually been watching my show back to when Trump was president, I said the same type of stuff again. If it was the reality, depending on whatever we were talking about, I would say the reality of again, whatever we were talking about when Trump was president. So um, it's just kind of whatever it is. So I'm a realist. So inflation is at a 30 to 40-year high all around the world, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, in Europe, in China. Gas is at an all-time high all around the world. Food prices are at an all-time high all around the world. In fact, gas is way higher in the United Kingdom. It's around $8 a gallon. Gas in Canada is around $6 a gallon for regular gas. So that's much higher than here in the U.S. And I know if you're in California, you're like, well, that's our price of gas. But California, California is like an anomaly. So yeah, it's just believe it or not, it's actually a lot worse in a lot of other countries for different things. Okay, next up we have Idaho has a tax rebate check coming via direct deposit or paper stimulus check, the greater of $75 or 12% of 2020 Idaho state taxes. Kansas under debate reducing or getting rid of the state grocery tax altogether. Kentucky under debate a one-time stimulus rebate check up to $500 per state resident and $1,000 per household for the state of Kentucky. So that's one of the bigger ones, the $500 per person or $1,000. It says per household, but think I'm not sure if that's per household or if that is per married couple um, for the state of Kentucky. Yeah, state of Kentucky. New Jersey under consideration a property tax rebate of $250 per renter and an average of $700 per homeowner. $250 per renter and $700 per homeowner. So that's an interesting one. I know there's some other states that have done it that way via renters and homeowners as well. Um, how they decide who's a renter and who's a home, I mean, homeowners they definitely can do, but how they decide who's a renter, I don't know how they figure that out. But yeah, that is for the state of New Jersey, which I haven't really seen a lot of information on that, to be honest. I would have covered that more. New Mexico, they have passed this. This is actually not correct because it's two payments of $250 per person and $500 per person, I believe. Let me show you here this other article. And also a refundable tax credit of up to $175 per child. Yeah, here's New Mexico. House Bill 2 passed with lawmakers voting to give $500 to individual taxpayers and $1,000 to married couples. So, yeah, because it comes in two different payments. As you can see here, it will come in the form of two electronic payments, one in the spring and one in the fall. Your income level doesn't matter. So it's going to be two payments of $250 per person for the state of New Mexico. This one has already passed as well. And again, there's also a $175 child tax credit for the state starting next year. The state of New York's has property tax rebates for 2021, 2022, 2023, an average of $425 in New York City and $970 outside of the city. I think that's passed. In addition to that, there's also proposals for, as you can see here, New York State Senator Daphne Jordan has advanced a $1,000 check for New Yorkers called the Family Freedom Inflation Relief Check to help New York families being hurt by inflation. This is a New York State senator Daphne Jordan. There is also a New York State Senator proposing a $250 gas check for New York residents per car. $250 per car. For the state of Pennsylvania, under consideration cutting the state gas tax by 30%. And a major one here, the governor of Pennsylvania wants to pass $2,000 stimulus checks for households with an income of $80,000 or less. This comes directly from the governor of Pennsylvania. The bill would take $500 million in an already appropriated American Rescue Plan Act funds, the stimulus package that was passed from President Biden to each state, and would cut checks of $2,000 for Pennsylvania households with an income of $80,000 or less. So this comes directly from the governor, and he is trying to convince the state legislature to go ahead and pass this $2,000 stimulus checks, and hopefully this will pass here as well. The state of Colorado, I don't think we've mentioned this one yet, has passed $400 per person, $400 per person, so $800 per married couple. This was another state that had a huge package. There was a whole bunch of other things in there as well. The governor said anyone who files taxes by May 31st, 2022 will get this rebate directly in the mail by August or September. And there's a whole bunch of other things in this package, but you do have to file your state taxes by May 31st. So keep that in mind. The state of Missouri is proposing $500 stimulus checks per person or $1,000 for a married couple amid a $3 billion surplus. The state's Democrats and Republicans both have proposals for stimulus checks in the state of Missouri, but they have differing plans and they're trying to come to a compromise on that. The state of Alaska has approved $5,500 cash payments. Actually, it's their Senate that approved it, but their House of Representatives has a different plan for a little bit less money. So they may have to compromise between their Alaska Senate and their Alaska House. This is because Alaska has a lot of oil money, and they're going to have to come to a compromise here as well. So they've approved it in their Senate, but now they got to pass it in their House. Their House had passed a different package, I believe. So now, as you can see right here on the screen, they have to figure out a compromise. They're going to get some type of large check, but they have to, again, pass it in the House and the Senate, have their governor sign it, and it has to be the same bill, just like the federal government. The state of California, the governor himself, Governor Gavin Newsom, has proposals for a $400 check per car, $800 per family maximum for 2 cars. He said this would be faster to do it this way, basically through the DMV, than to send out another proposal, which Democratic lawmakers said would be to send out $200 checks per person and $200 checks per child. That would have to go through the state's tax department, and they're behind from doing tax returns from the state as well. The governor said he doesn't want to do that because it could take months to send that out because they're behind from tax season, just like the IRS is behind. The governor said doing it this way, checks would go out faster as opposed to sending out $200 checks and having to do tax returns. So a little bit of a competing, even though they're both Democrats, the legislature and the governor. So they're trying to figure out what to do there. They also said more checks could come later this year because they have a record $68 billion surplus. They also said they could suspend or pause the 50-cent plus gas tax for the state here as well. So there could be multiple things they do here. There's also lawmakers calling for California to send $2,000 checks per child to the poorest families. So there's multiple things on the table here for California. I'll keep you up to date on that. And Virginia under consideration cutting or getting rid of altogether the state grocery tax and suspending the state's 26 cents per gallon gas tax. I believe they're also considering stimulus checks here as well. On the federal level here, as you can see here, stimulus updates for the entire country, the whole country. Lawmakers push for more direct payments to Americans as gas prices continue to soar. And gas prices just hit a new all-time high for both diesel and regular unleaded, despite the price of oil, which is supposed to basically control the price of gas, being 30% lower than what it was in March. We're hitting all-time high gas prices. And you can see here Nancy Pelosi's face. Um, yeah, they're trying to really hammer these gas prices or these gas companies because they're just literally gouging us. They're just literally gouging us. And um, oil is 30% below the price of the all-time high, but yet gas prices have hit an all-time high. And these gas companies have really just defined the definition of corporate greed. They're making all-time high profits. They're making around 300 to 400 billion dollars more this year than last year. They're on pace to almost double their profits from last year. And it's just really corporate greed. Um, how they're allowed to just get away with charging us anything they want at the gas pump right now during a time right after a pandemic, still in a pandemic, really. I mean, people are still dying, people are still catching the virus every day. I mean, the vice president just had it, Nancy Pelosi just had it. And I mean, elderly people still catch it every day, children still catch it every day. And really a lot of economists say that we're going into a recession or in a recession right now. The stock market is collapsing. People's 401ks are collapsing here. Now, I think that the stock market is very temporary. It goes up and down all the time, and people shouldn't panic about that. If anything, it's a good buying opportunity. Buy low, sell high, or hold. If it's your retirement fund, you let it grow over time. But I really think that this is a great opportunity to provide more relief for Americans that are struggling with stimulus checks, like all these states are doing. The federal government can do the exact same thing. In fact, right now, you can see right here from CBS News, Biden highlights deficit reduction, says the U.S. will pay down national debt for the first time in 6 years. President Biden just says that they're going to be able to pay down $1.5 trillion. $1.5 trillion because the economy is doing good. Now, the stock market's very shaky because people are, on edge right now because of the war, because of inflation, but because so many people have gone back to work and unemployment is low, basically the IRS is taking in a lot more money than they have in recent years. And because unemployment is so low, and a lot of states are actually seeing this now here as well, which is why a lot of states are flush with cash, and why a lot of states got stimulus money here as well. So a lot of states got billions of dollars from stimulus money, and states are seeing the exact same thing here that the federal government is seeing, and that is more tax dollars, more tax dollars. So if anything, now is the perfect time to provide extra relief, SNAP money, food assistance, stimulus checks, um, student loan relief, like the president said, any type of relief, Social Security benefits, any type of relief to anybody that needs it right now. I mean, inflation is at a 40-year high. And really, we have a major election coming. So if anybody wants to win elections, Republicans, Democrats, anybody. And the government's flush with cash right now. I mean, you let me know your thoughts in the comments. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. I'll keep you up to date here on all these different checks going out and more to come. If I didn't mention your state, they're probably on the way or being considered. And I will keep you up to date here. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel. You can click here to watch my newest video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.